Yo, yo, Saturday edition, post game live, back at it again. The last one before the NBA draft, so we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, some Knicks rumors, some draft news, and we got a special guest with us, man. So let's get into it. Yo, Knicks Nation, what's good, man? It's CP here, back in New York. My man Jay Ellis on the other side. This is Post Game Live once again. Salute to everybody watching. If you are just tuning in live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell. Once again, welcome to the chat. If you're watching on the replay, you will be seeing, I'll have some shortcuts, some time shortcuts in the YouTube description so you can see what we talk about at different times so you can kind of skip around the video. Today, we want to introduce our special guest, my guy Ashwin, a.k.a. Schwinny Pooh from Posting and Toasting. He's also written on a couple other Knick blogs as well. So welcome my guy Ashwin to the show. We got the third screen going, man. Ashwin, what's going on?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Good, man. Good, man. Thanks again for joining us today, man. And
what else would I want to do on a Saturday, right?
Yeah, what else do you want to do on a Saturday but talk Knicks, man?
Talk Knicks?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is it, man. This is it. The last rodeo before the draft. And it's so funny because every year, every off season, no matter how good, no matter how bad the Knicks are, we always find ourselves in the middle of the rumor mill, whether it's the draft, whether it's the off-season free agents or trades. And, Sham and Woj set it off yesterday with the Kawhi Leonard news, man. I never thought that we would get to this stage with Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs with him wanting out. But, Schwinny, I'm going to start with you, man. What do you take from all these Kawhi Leonard trade requests, trade rumors, or what do you think about it?
I mean, I think that him and LeBron already have some kind of understanding that they're gonna team up somewhere, but I don't see it being New York. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're in the running. So you think that him and LeBron are gonna go somewhere? Probably. I think it's the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers or Clippers, right? I mean, Kawhi's a Los Angeles kid, so
yeah.
Or I don't know if it's San Diego or Los Angeles. Either way, Cali kid. I mean, the Clippers they got 2 first-round picks in the lottery, so they got a shot too, I guess.
True. J.J. Ellis, man, what's your take on this whole thing?
I think it's a done deal. I think he's going to the Lakers, and it's going to be some crazy super team with Lakers and Kawhi and LeBron joining up.
What about PG, man? If they get PG too.
They get PG. I don't know, man. I'm hoping Westbrook kind of pulls that loyalty clause. It's I'll give you the Kevin Durant treatment if you go away with the Lakers.
Yeah, but are they going to get Game 6 PG though?
I don't know.
Yeah, facts. Yo, that'd be scary, man.
I mean, it might not have to be.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to be.
That would be some scary shit, man. Knowing the Lakers, man, they'll pull some Pau Gasol type trade and end up getting Kawhi Leonard for a second round pick and DJ Mbenga. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the Lakers, man, somehow, some way, they just know how to fleece teams in these trades, man.
I mean, they still got Dang, man. They still have Dang. That's a big piece right there.
Facts. Yo, Luol Deng. Yo, everybody was just getting contracts, man. Luol Deng, who couldn't play a minute in the league, got how much? $17 million or something?
Yo, timing is everything. Timing is everything.
Everybody got paid that summer.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody got a bag, bro. Everybody got a bag. It's crazy, man. Luol Deng is still around, making crazy paper, man. But yo, it's so crazy though. Even though we don't really have a chance, just to see, you would never really think the Spurs and drama go together, right? We always thought they was just that ironclad team, that well-built organization, and here you have it. It's pretty much the end of the dynasty. Once Duncan left. And, they thought Kawhi was going to be the heir apparent. Now he wants out. They saying Popovich might not coach past the Olympics in 2020. So that could be a wrap for the Spurs, man. Could be the end of the Spurs as we know it.
every dynasty must fall, man. They had a really good run of being in the playoffs or in the mix for like 10 years plus. Like it's they had a good run, man. You can't blame them. And who's to think? Because I felt like they drafted so well from year to year, and they was going to be able to just kind of rotate players in and out once Duncan leave and have Kawhi just pick up that torch. But you can't predict everything. Even if you do play it perfectly, sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah, man. Ashwin, what do you think about that in terms of the fall of the Spurs, man?
I mean, they had like 20 years of success. Yeah, I don't feel bad.
Crazy.
For them.
It's like from '99, they just never stopped winning, man.
Yeah, I like the Lakers and the Spurs. I feel no sympathy for these two teams ever.
Facts.
Like, I mean, the Lakers had like 4 bad years now, and now they're probably going to be really good again. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Popovich. I love everything about how the organization runs. I wish the Knicks ran like that.
Seriously,
but,
man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if I was, he's 27 now. He's about to be 27. If I was 27, if I was a millionaire, I probably wouldn't want to commit the rest of my life to live in San Antonio either.
Facts.
Actually, to be real about it, we've got one more team in that sweepstakes. The Celtics, who have a bunch of picks.
Yeah, don't sleep on the Celtics,
don't sleep
man.
on the Celtics. Celtics can send picks their way.
Philly too.
And then
Philly.
Yeah, Philly too. And you know what? You get those draft picks, you right back in it. Maybe the dynasty doesn't fall for that long.
Yeah.
Don't
not
sleep
with them
on
too. The way they draft. I mean, they could. I mean, they got Kawhi with 15th pick, Parker at the end of the first round. Ginobili was like a late second rounder. So if there's any team that could just rebuild with like real quick, it would be them. But
it's true.
Definitely.
It's true, man. Yo, I've been telling and Schwinny, I've been telling Jay Ellis with the Celtics, man. I said with Hayward coming back and Tatum just about on the rise as a star in the league, I think Jaylen Brown is expendable, man. Jaylen Brown is expendable, you know?
Yeah, he could be because I mean that's the luxury they have, that they can just trade away a second year player that looked as good as Jaylen, or third year player. I'm not forget.
He's going into his third.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in his second year, he looked like a stud. So they have that luxury that they could still trade that for Kawhi Leonard because, I mean, they're right there in the mix, right? Because Kyrie is going to be 26 next year. Hayward is 28. Horford is 32, 33. So he's kind of like getting there, but he's still, I mean, he was great this year. So, I mean, as much as like they have these assets to build the team long-term, they can sacrifice a couple of those for like to win now because they have guys that they should be trying to win now.
True. Celtics, man. Celtics always
win, man. Does anybody think that the Knicks had a shot at Kawhi Leonard yesterday?
I mean, it depends. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people that's ready to put KP in the deal for Kawhi Leonard. What do you guys think about that? That's crazy to me.
Yo, whose man's is that, man? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, totally objectively, if you're just looking at it, if you're like, would you trade KP for Kawhi Leonard straight up? Yeah. I mean, you could like, you could think about that. You could definitely think about that. But like, what are we talking about here? I mean, we should, for once, I would just like the Knicks to do what they say they're going to do. Because all we've been hearing for like the last year from Mills and Perry is they want to build it the right way.
No
they
shortcuts.
Want to develop. Yeah, no shortcuts, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And it's like, yo, just, we don't need to. I love Kawhi. He's awesome when he's healthy. I think he's like a top 3 player.
Definitely.
He's awesome. But we are like, if we gave up what we need to give up to get Kawhi, then it's like, and let's say like we don't trade KP, but we trade Frank, we trade 2 picks. Like, all right, then so what exactly is left here?
Right.
Like,
nothing.
Yeah,
it's the Melo trade all over again.
Yeah. And I mean we just talked about what Boston and Philly, like these are 2 teams that they could trade for Kawhi and still have a squad. Like they could give up assets and still have a squad. Like if we give up Kawhi, we're going up against these 2 teams that are already loaded.
Yep. It's the same thing all over again, man. Same thing all over again.
We just need to be patient. For once, just be patient, please.
Do you guys trust what they say in that, you know, they're not going for the quick fix? Or do you think Dolan in the back of his mind is thinking about this in terms of what we would need to part with to get Kawhi Leonard? What you think? You trust him?
I hope so. I mean, I know everybody starts out that way, but I hope so. I think Perry's kind of level-headed, and they have a team out there where they talk things through. They came out on a podcast like a month ago and said that they're eyeing 2019, really free agency, and they're in the asset building game right now. So I think at least this season, you can't. Come on, you can't go back on your word like year 1.5, right?
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. That would be a PR nightmare. Schwinny, what do you think about that?
I think a few things. So actually, in that podcast too, he said 2019, but he was like, maybe 2019, maybe 2020.
Right.
So he that was good to hear. I think that if there was ever a time and like a person that Dolan is going to be patient with, it's probably Steve Mills, because he loves Steve Mills, obviously, which we know.
Still
and I mean, look, how this all happened is very Knicksy and weird, obviously. Like Phil gets fired 2 days after the draft or whatever. But I think the setup now, right, is like the best setup you could hope for if you're a Knicks fan, because Dolan's never going to sell. So that's a fact, right? Dolan's the owner. He has a guy that's in charge of the entire organization that he trusts.
Yeah.
And then that guy hired everybody that's hired, everybody above them is like, they have a good relationship, and it's like a clear line of, how it works. So
the power structure is set.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, I mean, there were even reports that, Fizdale was Perry's guy and Blatt was more Mills' guy. So I think it's a positive sign that Fizdale got fired for that reason, or hired for that reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, it shows
let's not jump the gun about fired, right?
True. But at least, like, to your point, at least to, for them to allow Perry to kind of make that hire, it gives you confidence that they have confidence in him, and they're not trying to step on toes.
Yeah. And they've invested a ton in like the development and stuff. They hired all these development guys. They got Craig Robinson, brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He said there's a secret sauce, man. We still waiting on that secret sauce, Craig.
Yeah, we gotta see it.
You know what I mean? Maybe that secret sauce could stop Moutier from falling down every time he drive to the hole.
Nothing can stop Moutier from falling.
Maybe we can get him traded.
Facts, man. Facts.
Train wheels on his ankles.
Facts. Yo, salute to everybody in the chat. Happy Saturday. What's good? Payback Carter, EDP's dad. What's good? Sincere Genius.
What up?
R.A. Hotep, J Twice, New Jizzle. What's going on? Who else in here? Robert Parrish, always in here. What up, Robert? Troy Flett. What's good, Troy? Yeah. Basil Blake. What's good? Nick D. What up? Anthony Paybon. What up? Knicks Tape in the building. Salute to everybody in here. LLY is in here. Salute
Twitter, Boss Fly, though, was good. You just joined the chat. Shikamaru, always holding down my chat.
Shikamaru, all the way from Australia, in the building.
3 a.m. in Australia.
Facts, man.
Dedication,
man. Tyon Reed, what's good? Dr. Kid, what up? Salute to everybody in here. Yeah, man. Thanks for supporting, man. Welcome my guy Schwinny from Posting and Toasting in the building.
Yeah.
And all right, let's get to the next one. So the next one, Kyrie, right? I think the Kyrie rumors, they pretty much dying down, but a little bit from earlier this week was that Kyrie is going to delay signing with the Celtics until the offseason. Obviously, financially, it makes most sense for him. But I found this graphic. I'm going to pull it up right now. This graphic on how much he can get if he holds out. And basically, from the Celtics, right, if he signed the extension this year, he's eligible to make 4 years at $108 million. So that's about $25 million a year. If he waits to sign and he signs with a new team in 2019, the max he can get is a 4-year deal at roughly $140. So that's a little bit over $30 million. Then if he signs again with the Celtics in 2019, he could get a 5th year at $188. That's a $50 million difference.
Yeesh.
If he just stays with the Celtics and signs in 2019.
A lot of money.
Yo, that's a bag, man. That's a bag. So I don't know, man. If he really was to turn down $50 million to join the Knicks, man,
how much is New York worth to you, man?
Bro, I would throw a parade for him before the season even started if he did that, man.
Hey, I mean, he gave away money by forcing his way out of Cleveland, though, too.
That's
exactly.
true. That's
So,
true.
I mean, I think he's a weird dude with his
Like,
flat
what is
earth
the
stuff.
motivation for this dude right now? Hey, man,
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
He wants the glory.
He wants the glory, man. I'm telling you, he wants the glory. If he wants the glory,
that's what this guy on
you know where to go.
What's this guy? Ballhead Skip Bayless on Fox Sports 1 that does with Chris Carter. What's his name? The dude that does really outrageous takes. What's his name?
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright was saying that about Kyrie. He said he's more of a guy who wants the credit. You know, he wants all the credit, and that's why he jumped ship to Boston, and that's why he could potentially jump ship to the Knicks if Boston was trying to get Kawhi. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how much I look into that.
I don't know if it's the credit because listen, man, if the Boston Celtics win a chip, he's still going to get the credit because they couldn't get past the Cavs.
Yeah.
Without him. So you figure he would be the missing piece. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, if he comes to New York and wins a chip in New York, it's still
he's a king.
He's a king. It's like a statue being built.
Yeah. No questions asked.
He wins a chip in New York. It's a much bigger deal. So I think if he really wants the glory, which it might be, he might want the glory, man. If he wants the glory, come home. Or close or next to home, because I know you're from Jersey.
Yeah.
Close enough. Pass train.
They call it West New York now, right?
West New York.
Oh, man.
West New York, man. Yeah,
New York Gardens, gentrified. New York Gardens.
Man. we always got a summer of everybody who we chasing, man. If it's not summer LeBron, it's summer KD, it's summer this guy, that guy. So I guess next year is gonna be the summer of Kyrie for us. I guess. Almost
definitely.
We'll see how it goes, man.
I'm still holding out that Kawhi somehow doesn't.
Does he wait? You think he waits?
He waits. Nah. Him and Kyrie form a super team in New York with Porzingis.
Here's the thing, though, is like Kyrie has had 50 knee surgeries, and Kawhi has this, whatever it is, tendinosis. I don't know what exactly it is, but he's had this issue with his quad for multiple times now. This isn't like the first year.
Oh yeah, that's why. So
like, I mean, that's one reason for like why we would be insane to trade for him.
Almost definitely.
But even if we're just signing these guys, like, I mean, obviously, look, if Kawhi or Kyrie just says, yeah, I want to come play in New York,
they're
probably going to do it. But, I mean, look, we're the Knicks. We've had a lot of guys that we pay a lot of money end up getting hurt, end up, just banged up, not what we thought they were.
It's a
right?
tough gamble, man. It's a tough gamble.
Going back to, Antonio McDyess.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
Don't say that, man. Don't say it.
Yeah. I mentioned him on Twitter the other day. Everybody started laughing. But
McDyess, man.
But, no, it's, I mean, again, like, if Kyrie says, yeah, I want to come play for the New York next summer, I'm not going to say no. But in the back of my head, I'm going to be, there is concern, right? It's not like, this isn't legit. Like signing.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, as good as they are, and they are awesome. Like, they're both legitimate all-stars, right? I think I've said this before, but I think Kyrie is like just straight up. I think he is the best pure scorer I've seen since at least Kobe. I don't know. Like, he can create a shot. He can get a bucket anytime.
Ball control, best ball handling guard in the league. Hands
so
down.
these guys are basically on path to be Hall of Famers. They're no joke, but they're not LeBron. They're not like Jordan or something,
right?
So there's always that risk, especially and with them, like, they've had serious injuries, so it's something you always have to think about.
I have concerns about both of their injuries. We both talked about this on this show before, but I think that's why, like you said before, we wouldn't trade for them. But I would definitely keep my eye on them this year to see what's going on with him health wise.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned, to be honest with you, with Kawhi and Leonard's
that injury is crazy, man.
Health concerns than Kyrie's. I think Kyrie's is gonna be fine.
Shit. I'm concerned physical and mental with Kawhi Leonard, man. I just don't know where this dude's head is at.
Yeah, like, we also, like, that's the thing you also have to consider, right? Because I know that a lot of people don't account for this, and I think it gets kind of overshadowed because now, like, even if you're playing in Oklahoma City, like Russell Westbrook, you can have a clothing line. You can be like a global superstar and all that stuff. And, like, sure, it's more of a level playing field. But playing in New York is just different. Like, it is different. And you see this all the time with, like, in baseball, this happens all the time. Somebody signs for the Yankees, and all of a sudden they can't live up to that contract.
Yeah,
right?
weighs him down, man.
Yeah,
It weighs him
and that
down.
happens with the Knicks all the time too.
Yep.
And it's something you got to consider. And that's one thing I'll give Kyrie is I think that guy could play anywhere for anybody. It wouldn't matter.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's worried about. He's got that like Kobe mentality in him, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't melt.
care.
He wouldn't melt here. I feel like Kawhi Leonard could melt here.
Yeah, he could. I think that's like a genuine, and I think even a melted Kawhi would still be like an awesome player.
But I know
what you're saying. Like I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah,
I just said it because I was just like, I don't know. Even if he does come to New York, I feel like that caliber of a two-way player, he's not going to. I don't think it's going to impact him as much as you think. I think.
Yeah, I mean, he'd immediately be the best player we've had since Ewing. Like, there's no question.
Hands down. Hands down, man.
Like not even close. There's nobody in that conversation, really. Nah,
it's definitely interesting, as you said, man. But yeah, man, everybody in the chat weigh in on this Kyrie and Kawhi Leonard situation. Give us your trade proposals if you think we should make some trades. If you think we could wait it out till 2019, let us know your comments in the comment section. And yeah, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell as well. All right, let's keep it pushing here to the draft. We got how many more days? We got 4 more days to the draft.
5, right?
5 more days to the draft.
I can't wait.
Just do it today.
Yeah, right. Let's do it today, man.
It's killing me, man.
Let's do it today, man. And,
there's a lot of fake news out there too with this.
Yeah. But isn't that always expected with the draft? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like every draft is the rumor mills going, the posturing by each team about who they might pick, who they like. You don't know what's real or what's fake.
Yeah, but it's so. This reminds me more of the Porzingis draft because, like, I don't think anybody. I mean, I don't not even think. I know nobody knew who we were gonna pick it for, right? Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
And I think Porzingis was like somebody that people were almost certain we wouldn't pick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had no clue about Porzingis, bro.
But last year, I wasn't really nervous going in the draft because I was almost positive that we were going to take Frank.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because
that was
we were
like
pretty sold on it.
Yeah. Everybody had reported that for so long, and it was just kind of like, okay, Phil, he likes big guard. This guy's a big guard. He had talked in his infamous postseason press conference. Now,
right?
He talked about how we needed like defensive, like big switchable defensive players. And I was like, okay, well, he's basically describing Frank. Like he is describing Frank right now.
He was his triangle guard that he was looking for, I guess.
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, like this is happening. He's not like, we knew he wasn't going to pick Dennis Smith Jr. because he didn't any octopus.
Yeah. Jesus, man. The shit that this guy put these poor kids through, man. It's crazy, man. So yeah, similar to previous years, a lot of fodder, a lot of information going out there. One of the things is the trade rumors. We are hearing that Dallas and Memphis might be interested in trading down. I see Memphis is dangling a quite overrated player in Chandler Parsons. If they could package the number 4 pick. What do you guys think about that? J. Ellis, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about the trade rumors overall and Memphis potentially trying to package number 4 and Parsons? What do you think about that from a Knick angle?
Well, at first I thought, well, damn, if it's gonna be a salary dump, can we keep our pick? That's what I was like. Can we possibly keep our first round pick and end up with 2 first rounds?
That would be crazy,
but after digging, I was just like, okay, well, no, that's not gonna be a possibility. And I feel like the cap situation would just be so in flux, we wouldn't be able to move anything, even though Parsons and Noah do come off the books at the same time. Yeah. That would take us out of the Kyrie sweepstakes altogether.
Yeah. And
we can possibly find somebody who's very serviceable at the 9th pick. So
yeah, you pretty much delaying your free agency pursuits until 2020. I don't know.
I would do it.
So Ashwin, you would do it.
I would do it.
You would do it if it meant swapping number 9 as well, so 9 with 4.
So, like, I mean, I don't know exactly what the deal would be, but let's say we had to give up Courtney Lee and, I don't know, Lance Thomas or something. That's fine. Yeah. I definitely want to get rid of Lance Thomas. Anyway.
Definitely.
But, yeah, I mean, if we could get 4 and Doncic or Jaren Jackson are on the board, hell yeah, I do that deal yesterday.
Yeah, Doncic is one thing. Jaren Jackson is intriguing, though, because he's a really good talent that you can eat. he's a person where he kind of conflicts with KP a little bit. So you kind of think, what do you?
Yo, that defense would be crazy.
Yeah, it would
That
be.
defense would be crazy.
It'd be crazy, but it's like it'd definitely be crazy. But it's like they're both so thin, even though they're both good defenders. So that whoever's playing the 5 is gonna get pounded on hard. It's gonna be.
But Jackson is what? He's 19. Even KP, you can see now. Like, I actually just the other day I randomly was watching some like YouTube clip of him from his rookie year, and then I saw like his really corny workout videos. But like you can see physically. I mean, even though he still needs to put more weight on, you can see like, wow, he is actually significantly bigger. You can really see it.
Right.
And like Jackson, he's coming in. I think he's just about to turn 19. If you look at his frame, like he looks stronger than what KP was for sure when he came in. And his frame looks like he'll easily be able to fill out. So, I mean, yeah, like off the bat, it would be a concern. But the way those two guys, like, and Jackson can shoot. So he's not going to be like in the way, right? He's not going to just be in the post and blocking everything up. Like he can spread the floor too. So I don't know, man. I if I could get him or Doncic, I would be happy with either of those guys in that scenario. So I mean, I understand why, like, yeah, it's nice to think to have that cap space in 2019 and potentially sign Kawhi or Kyrie or whatever. But the way I think about it is like, okay, what are the actual odds that we sign these guys? Because those guys aren't signing somewhere where they don't think they can compete right now. Like
most definitely.
They're going to sign. And like, what are we going to do this year, right? KP's probably going to miss at least half the year, right? And then when he comes back, he's going to have to like, knock the rust off, whatever you want to call it. But he's going to take time to get back in. Frank is still developing. He's a second-year point guard. Whoever we draft this year is probably not going to come in and just kill it from the jump, right?
Right.
I mean, these guys are young players. What you want to see is like flashes and games of progress, but in between that progress, you're going to see a lot of like horrible basketball because that's what young players do. So I don't know. To me, I think like 2020 is more realistic for when we should even be when we would be realistically a contender to sign any top level free agents.
True.
So sure. I would just make that deal because like I think 9 we can still get a good player, which we'll talk about I'm sure. But at 4, I love like there. I mean, I would need one of those guys to absolutely be on the board for to make that deal, because otherwise I'm not sure. Like those are the 2 guys I just think are so clearly like better. Like they're just the 2 best prospects for me. Doncic and Jackson.
I feel like Doncic's gonna be gone, but Jackson possibly be there.
Yeah. But so I guess I would only make the deal if I knew one of those guys was there.
You know what though? It's kind of like, okay, so probably Doncic might be gone. I'm thinking Jared Jackson's gonna be there. But then if you think about who's gonna be available at 9, maybe a Miles, maybe a Wendell Carter Jr., how much better do you think a Jackson versus somebody at 9,
like a Miles, right?
Right. Will they be? Will they be? I think that's the big question, because if you feel like they're gonna be Miles better, then yes. But I'm not sure if that's all the way definitive.
Yeah. Now, Miles better than Miles.
Miles better than Miles.
I mean, for me, man, I think like to your point, Schwinny, I think I would take that deal just on the strength that you can't bank on chasing free agents, man. We've tried it in the past, at least figuratively through the fan standpoint, and it just never works. You know what I'm saying? These guys use the Knicks for leverage, and the reality is these guys want to win. You know what I'm saying? And money talks. I always think that. Look at what KD did in leaving to go to Golden State. He could have made more money with the Thunder. Obviously, he had a much easier path with Golden State, and he went and did that. So I think if we had the chance, I would take Parsons, even if he's a scrub. I would take that deal. Hope that, obviously with his deal and Noah deal coming off the books, and hope if you could get Doncic at 4, and if you didn't have to swap 9, and then you could still come back and get a McCall or a Carter, that's
you could do that.
Yeah. No, but but the thing is, I've talked about it with some people on Twitter, and it was basically like, because I thought you can be able to keep both picks, the 9 and the 4. Now,
Yeah.
if we keeping the 9 and the 4, and then we're held down on cap space, then I don't care. I'll do the deal. But we're gonna end up trading the 9th pick for that 4th pick, and if that's the case, then I don't know if I'll do that deal.
Facts.
Yeah.
Michael Charles says, when will it come off the books? It would come off the books at the end of the 2019 season. So that would be Parsons' contract and end of 2020, right? End of 2020.
End of 2020, Parsons and Noah.
Parsons and Noah. So I mean, it's interesting debate.
I mean, it's good though because Noah would have company then.
Yeah, exactly. Noah would have company for sure. Yo, you never know, man. Noah could have a prominent role this year if Canner walks and KO walks. You never know. Joakim Noah could be your starting center in camp. Don't sleep.
Yeah, I mean, like the big thing for me is if we could get 4, and like so. I mean, I'm not actually that concerned about KP signing an extension or whatever because ultimately I think like the dude just tore his ACL and I think that he's going to get – I think the Knicks will talk and try and negotiate, but ultimately they're going to give him something close to, if not the full max. And, you know, I think he's just going to sign that regardless because you want that financial security. That sets him up. Like that contract basically sets you up for the rest of your life, sets you and your family up for the rest of your life. So you take that money, right?
Right.
You know, the thing, but if you are worried about that, like we know that him and like he likes Doncic. We know this, that they have like talk, that they're friends essentially. So I think that he would be like, you know, if you're worried that, oh, well, if we don't have cap space in 2019, he might not think we're going to compete until 2020. Is he going to leave? Like, I think if you do that, but you get Doncic, he's going to 100% stay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He won't care that he has to wait until 2020 for us to have cap space to spend.
Well, that's the thing too. If Doncic is available, do it. What about my guy Bamba though? No love for Bamba.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be a good player, man. Don't get me wrong. I need that firepower though, man. Is he is Mo Bamba a game changer for this team?
I mean, he's a Rudy Gobert with offense, man.
Does he have offense though?
He's working on it. I mean, listen, it's developing.
I don't know, man.
Yo, let me
in his workouts.
Let me tell you a story. You remember Danny Fortson?
Yes.
You remember him, like pretty nondescript NBA player.
Yes.
Had no offensive skills, right? No offensive skills. I went to a Knicks game where they played the Sonics, rest in peace. They played the Sonics. It was at the Garden, obviously. I got there, 25, 30 minutes early, whatever. I was watching the warm-ups. Danny Fortson, with nobody guarding him, this guy was just draining 30-footers. Like NBA players, guys at that talent, like when they're in the open gym, they can do things that I couldn't do if I spent the entire day at the park shooting. Right?
I know this.
Like Mo Bamba is. I mean, look, I think it's awesome that he knows what he has to work on.
Yeah.
And he's taken like steps. Like you can see his form is different. He's, you know, genuinely trying to get better. And he says, like, if you hear his interviews, he's really impressive. He is. Yeah. That's he's like super impressive. And I just like, to me, it's, I don't know, man. I just like there's so much there. When I watched him play Texas, I was just like, I
want a game changer at the top, man. No offense to Mo Bamba. I think defensively he'll be great for us. Obviously with him and KP,
he's gonna be great defensively anywhere, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? But I'd roll the dice on the Doncic. If I had the number 4 and he's there, I'm taking Doncic over Bamba all day.
I want like somebody dynamic. I want like somebody that can either like, you know, like Doncic is like obviously an amazing passer, or, you know, at 9, like I really like I just like the way Miles like attacks the rim. Like he attacks the rim.
We're big Miles fans here.
Yeah. So I just like, I think that we need somebody that's just kind of like, even if you watch Doncic, right? Like he's like, people have this idea of him as he's like a like typical soft Euro, whatever. But like that guy talks a lot of shit. Like he's running his mouth.
He's a gamer,
constantly.
man.
Yeah, I think we just need, like, I like Frank. I like that he works his ass off on defense. He just seems like a genuine kid. I like that KP is a little bit corny, but like you can tell he like wants to get better and stuff. But I feel like we need somebody that just has that kind of like mentality.
We need a dog, man.
Yeah, we need somebody with that mentality.
Yep.
Just not Sexton, even though he is a dog.
Facts. Oh man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see some chat comments on this so far. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Rotten Apple, welcome to the chat. Make sure y'all subscribing to the channel. Terrell Frazier, thanks for the subscribe. Welcome to the squad. Ernst Badet, welcome to the squad. Dr. Kid, what's good? Let's see some comments. Doncic would set up KP so good offensively. That's from Mark Laurentic. I think Mark is from Australia too, so what up to Mark? JPP NYC says, thank God CP is not the GM of the Knicks. I don't know which one of my comments triggered him, but I guess
the trolling has begun.
But what I think people are saying, don't take on Parsons because he's trash. Obviously, we know Parsons is trash. We know that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point. We don't care about Parsons. We want the pick. We're saying if you could get the number 4 pick without giving up 9, I'll take Parsons, put him in a suit. It's not
possible, though. That's the thing.
It's not possible. It's not possible. We here to dream. That's all that we're Knicks fans. That's all we have is to dream. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if it was possible, I would do it.
Yeah, I would do it. I would do it, man.
If that's possible and you don't do it, you should if that was possible and Perry just didn't do the deal, he should be fired immediately.
Right.
Like I would be like, no, you're done. You're done here. Like, let's move on.
You got to take it, man. You got to take it. What else? Tony Crow, what's good? Welcome to the chat. Lee Sampson says he's here from the Philippines. Shout out Lee Sampson. Yo, everybody in the chat, represent where you from, man. Where's everybody from? Last week we had people from all over the globe, man. So that was pretty cool to see.
Hypothetical for you guys. I've seen certain trade scenarios from certain people. I think Tommy, he posted one that was like Tim Hardaway Jr., Lance Thomas, and the number 9.
For what?
For the 4th in Parsons.
Wait, say that again. What was it?
Let me see if I can find it too. Go ahead, JL.
I think it was off the top. I think it was Tim Hardaway Jr., Lance Thomas, and the 9th pick for Parsons in the 4th.
Ooh, so basically, so it depends. I like Tim, but I'm not like in love with Tim or anything. I don't think he's like. So basically, you give up Tim. That's the main piece you're giving up, and then you swap the picks. But you also like Tim's Hardaway is a year longer than Parsons, so like you also get that money off the cap a year sooner if you look at it that way. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a decent case that is a totally fine deal to make. Like I think if Perry made that deal today, I wouldn't be upset. I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I feel like Timmy's such a polarizing guy right now to Knicks Nation in terms of whether they like him or not, man. I feel like a lot of people are down on him. I'm pretty much in the middle. I think he can contribute. I want to see what Fizdale could do with him.
Yeah, man. Give him a year.
The chucking definitely gets to me with Tim Hardaway Jr. That's for sure. But
he does more than Chuck now, which he didn't do a couple when he was here previously. Before it was just all Chuck.
Oh, it was
he drives to the hoop. Don't get me wrong. He definitely gets aggressive when he wants to be. But I think he also checks out of games sometimes too, which I don't like.
Yeah, he's too. I think sometimes he's almost too hard on himself. Like when he loses his confidence, you can see that it affects his entire game.
He wears it on his sleeve. Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Absolutely, man.
Give him a whole year, though. It's like this is gonna be his first full year as a starter. That's what I really want to see how he does this year under Fizz.
Yeah.
First full year as a starter under his belt. Going into it, knowing he has no KP, I really want to see what he's gonna do this year.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
I thought he actually showed out. Not showed out. He wasn't an all-star or anything, but I thought, considering how hard the lack of talent we had, I thought he had a pretty solid period of play without KP. Like he didn't look like totally
lost.
Incapable. Yeah, exactly.
No, and there's another thing too. Our roster. He said it before. Our roster is built so weird. He's paying 3
right now.
Yeah, that was hard on him. Like you could tell he got his ass kicked every night. Those guys are just bigger than him.
He did,
especially playing the Bucks.
Yeah,
man. Oh man, I don't want to relive that, man.
Yo, but it was crazy because at the end of the year when they were starting Frank, Frank was defending these threes and he was giving up mad weight, but he was already giving these guys problems. Otto Porter had problems with Frank. He couldn't just bully him or anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. Ben Simmons had problems with Frank. A lot of people had problems with Frank. I know I'm in some other Twitter group who says Frank doesn't have good help defense, and that just baffled the hell of me. What game are you watching?
Right.
He's an octopus, man.
Nah, Frank is a real deal defensively, man. I mean, you never know because he could be. Maybe they do go with a 3 guard line. I'm starting off and see what Frank could do against the threes. I don't.
I
That's
mean,
the only way I see him cracking the starting lineup.
My crazy take with Frank was always that, like when Phil drafted him, because he was like 18, right, when you
Yeah,
drafted
he
him,
was
and
18.
Yeah, 18.
and there's always been like these, not rumors, but I mean it's fact, like that he's still growing. So I always thought when Phil drafted him that he thought of him more as like a point forward, like a playmaking three, than just a pure point guard. So yeah, I mean his frame, like the way he added 8 pounds during the season last year.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can tell like with the videos he's posted, he's obviously like very focused on his body, and he just looks like he has a frame that I expect to like fill out and just be like he's gonna be super chiseled in a couple of years.
Definitely, man. He's gonna look like he did a bid.
Never know, man. He could grow into that Lamar Odom role. You never know.
Definitely gonna be.
He's about to go Black Panther on him.
Facts, man.
Wakanda in effect, for real.
Wakanda in the building. All right, so moving on to the draft. So we're hearing that a particular player, Kevin Knox, his stock is. There you go. We're hearing that they had him and Miles Bridges go at it last week in the workout, and that basically the Knicks were impressed. And it seems as though, you know, each workout he's having, he's showing out. What's your take, Shuni? I'll start with you. What's your take on Knox, man?
I don't know. So with Knox, there's a lot of skill. Like you can see he has. I mean, his shooting, his his stroke looks it looks good. It looks really good. And you know, Kentucky is also one of these schools where like it's hard to know what these guys can actually do because they all have to like sacrifice their game to an extent. I mean, we saw with Devin Booker, right?
Yeah,
he was just a role player on Kentucky.
True indeed.
Now this guy's averaging like 25 a night. With Knox, and the other thing with Knox too is he's super young. Like I think he's like 2 years younger than a lot of these guys.
Yeah, he's second youngest in the draft, I believe.
Yeah, and you can like look at his legs in this video you're showing. He's got these skinny legs that he just needs to grow into his body so much.
He's not skip leg day.
Yeah, and actually, one thing my biggest concern with Knox was that when I watched him play, like he's 6'9", he's almost got like a 7-foot wingspan. You know, you want to see a guy like that use his body like physically as an advantage offensively,
right?
And like, you know, this is actually something I think about. Like Frank needs to do too to take his game to the next level. Is you just got to be able to use those physical tools you have to your advantage.
Yeah.
And so that was like a big concern, but I actually saw a report from a tweet from one of these, a Philly beat guy that said that at the Philly workout, because he was in a group workout there, that he was throwing his weight around, like he was using it. So look, like and I know the Knicks, when they worked him out, they had him and Miles play like one-on-one.
Yeah.
They had them match up. So, you know, I don't know what happened there, but I mean, if Knox just like killed Miles, that would probably change your way of thinking too, right? Like we don't know what they saw. We have no idea.
True.
So and like the fact that right after that meeting was all this, or you know, we started hearing rumors of not just Knox to New York, but I saw like on the Ringers, their mock draft, they had him at 7, right? They had him going 7.
That's up there, man.
That's
so
crazy.
So clearly the buzz isn't just like New York buzz. There's buzz for him elsewhere.
Yeah. Jay Ellis, what do you think? One of the knocks on Knox is that his motor, right? He has a low motor. I mean, I would particularly think that any coach should be able to change that, you know, that negative attribute about a player, especially with somebody so young. But what do you think about that when people knock him and say that he has a low motor?
It scares me. It scares me when people don't have that natural I want to come after you feel. It scares me a little bit because I feel like low motor. I feel like if you're out of shape is one thing. I feel like if it's in and out, then it might be a competitiveness issue, and that's what really worries me more than the motor.
Right.
Because I feel like the motor is indicative of him not being that competitive, which is why I like Miles so much. Because I know Miles is going to be competitive.
Same with Cal too. Like I like Miles a little bit more, but even though McCall isn't fiery, like he competes. That guy competes.
Yeah.
And with the thing with Knox too, like you talked about competitiveness. See, like some of that offensively, I think people mistake. Oh, he wasn't aggressive looking for a shot. Some of that's just like the offense. I don't think
Right.
that's necessarily him. But like if you look at his rebounding numbers or his like he doesn't get a lot of steals, he doesn't get a lot of blocks.
That's
He
what
doesn't
I'm worried about.
he's not like a big time rebounder for a three either. So
Yeah.
when you see stuff like that, that's what I see with him. And like when I talked about not using his weight like to have to his advantage offensively, he doesn't do it defensively either. Like I've seen clips of him like look, let's not dump on the guy too hard, but Melo wasn't exactly like the hardest fighter over screens, you know.
Nah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with Knox, like I saw some stuff in Kentucky where, like, if he saw a screen, it was like, nah, nope,
Right.
not going there.
Right. It's true. It's true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very intriguing with Knox, man. I feel like he's one of the most when it comes to opinions. I think it's the most polarizing is with Kevin Knox in terms of
Definitely.
especially how Knicks fans see him. But
Yeah.
I think what Calipari said was interesting in that you know, he says you don't draft these players for who they are now. You draft them for what they can be. And like Schwinny, to your point about Devin Booker, you know, we really didn't see his greatness until he got into the league at Phoenix. You know, this could be a similar situation with Knox. You never know.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's the hardest thing about the draft because like all we like, especially for us, right? Because we're not inside. We don't talk to the coaches. We don't talk to people they grew up with and all. We don't get the character stuff that all these front offices do.
Yeah.
And we don't interview them. Like we
Right.
don't talk to them privately. So we don't get that opportunity to kind of get a feel for not just them as a player, but them as a person, which is relevant to them in being able to improve. And so like, you know, nobody could have predicted, right, that Giannis would develop into like what he's developed. That's not something that you can predict. So it's really hard projecting. And it's like, you know, it's ultimately these guys are like 18, 19, 20 years old, and we're trying to put ceilings and floors and stuff on it. And it's like we have no. It's just such an inexact science that
this draft is a crapshoot, man. So many things got to click.
It's like what I would say about Knox is just what we have available to us. There's too many questions for me to like just like overlook with him. And if we were going to gamble on somebody that is super like that, because he's going to be kind of, I don't like using the word project because I think everybody you draft is essentially a project, but he's got like Knox right now is a player that when you watch him, you see what he can do in flashes, but you rarely see it over the course of an entire game. Yeah, and almost never do you see like the whole package. You might get a game where for the whole game he's awesome at shooting or his scoring is really working, but like you don't see like you know what I mean? Like you're not seeing like, oh, he's also playing great defense and he's also doing all these other things. Like, so if we're gonna draft a player like that is just very much like a potential like upside play and will need very structured development. Like if we're going that way, to me, like Lonnie Walker is a better bet than Knox because I see that in like, I don't question his motor. I might question a lot of things about Walker, but I don't question his motor.
True. Yo, I think we got a call coming in. Yo.
Hey, what's up?
What's good, bro? Yo, just turn your volume down on your computer. Yeah.
All right. It's down.
All right. Who's this, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, this is Fritz.
Fritz, what's good, bro? Where you from, man?
I was in chat. Yeah, Knox is intriguing.
What's your take on Knox?
Well, you could tell that as now, he's not a gym rat. Like, he kind of reminds you of, like, you know where Dwight Howard was before he got drafted. And then he showed up to the draft, and he was a beast. So maybe the Knicks want something unfinished that he doesn't even know his own ceiling yet.
Yeah.
So
I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely.
He looks like
possible.
he lost weight for sure.
Yeah, because he definitely looks like he hasn't. He's not living in the gym. So maybe they think they can bring him to the next level.
True. It's early, man.
So if he
go ahead.
Yeah, so if he's this good now, if they think they could mold him into something better, they're gonna take someone with a higher ceiling.
Yeah, that's totally like the. I mean, if they pick Knox, it wouldn't be my pick. Like, I don't think that's crazy. I think that there's definitely a lot of skills there to work with. He has the potential to be a 3-level scorer. Like, you can see that. His floater is already really nice, which is like, I mean, that's an important shot for a perimeter player, I think. He's got the pull up. Like, he can get to his pull up. He might not be great at it yet, but like he can get to it, and that in and of itself is a skill. Like,
True.
shot creation is a skill. The fact that he can create his own shot right now at 18, 19 years old, like that's a skill, and it's not something that, when you're projecting out, it's hard. Like, again, it's really hard, and a lot of it ultimately just comes down to your personal belief in the guy.
True,
like,
indeed.
Do you believe in him?
True.
I like people with work ethic though, personally. Like, I don't know, I'd rather take a shot on people who work hard on certain things than just have the physical tools and kind of just rely on that. That's just like a personal thing though.
True indeed, True indeed. Yo, Fritz, thanks for the call, bro. I think we lost Fritz, but thanks for the call. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and yeah, man, appreciate you. Let's go to the chat, see what people are saying on Knox. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sim, nothing but Knicks, what's good? Nothing but Knicks in the building. Eddie Roldan, what's good? Lakers for Life 2018 is in the building. So shout out to a Laker fan in here. Terrell Frazier says Knox's age got me interested. T. Williams says if we don't draft Knox, watch Mills get fired. I don't see that.
I don't think about that.
Mills got the keys to the kingdom, bro.
That's a reach.
Yeah.
Mills got the keys to the kingdom.
Thanks, Young Hayes, for subscribing.
Mills could draft Grayson Allen at 9. He wouldn't get fired, probably.
Yeah. Jay Alvarez, what's good, Jay? I think Jay wants Knox. Let's see who else is in here. The Knox. Got another call in here. See who this is. Yo. Who this? Cody? Oh shit, cut off. I don't know what happened. Call back. Call. Let's see who else. All right, let's go to a couple more on Knox, and then we'll move to the next guy. T. Williams says Knox has more potential. Flat out, stop the hate.
It's not hate. Potential, man, is one thing, but you got to be able to work. I mean, you know what, dude? Some people change their work ethic after they get their ass kicked in the NBA. So that could possibly happen too. Ask Tim Hardaway Jr. about that. He got sent to the D League after he got his ass kicked and got put in the bench. Yeah. So sometimes it takes that. Even Trey Burke will have that same type of story before he had to work his way back into the NBA. So it's possible his work ethic can change, but his work ethic kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing to consider too is, like, with Fizdale as our coach, and I'm sure he has some input on. I don't think, like, ultimately it's going to be Perry and Mills' call, but I'm sure that they get Fizdale's input. I can't imagine them taking somebody that, like, if they take Knox, they must feel pretty convinced that his work ethic isn't an issue, because I don't think that they'll take somebody that they feel like has a low motor or anything. Like, if they take him at 9, it's because
he showed all three
of them just believe that, like, the motor or work ethic issues are either like
they could work through that.
Yeah, exactly. They can either work through it or they're exaggerated and overblown, or like maybe like the light turned on for him or something. I don't know. But I mean, like, I think you just touched on it. Like, sometimes people just, once they get their ass kicked, they realize, like, oh, okay, well, I just need to work harder, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm losing money. All right, well, 2 days every day. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, Oladipo he even said it, right? Like, he didn't realize how hard he had to work until he went to OKC, saw how hard Russell Westbrook worked, and he got traded to Indiana, and then he put in work like that, and now he was like probably the best shooting guard in the East.
He stepped it up.
Honestly, that's what Moody's problem is right now. Like, he admitted that he relied on his athleticism his whole career. And then he realized when he got here that he has to actually do some stuff. He can't just use his big size as a point guard, just overpower people. You got to put the work in. So
he needs to get
see how long it takes for him to put it together.
True indeed, man. All right, so that was Kevin Knox. Let's get to these Lonnie Walker rumors. And Jonathan Wasserman from Bleacher Report says that Lonnie Walker and the Knicks had a 3-hour dinner and it seems like he could be in the mix at number 9. So JL's, what's your take on this kid? And his stock seems to be rising.
Man, it looks like this flirting is going on. It looks like there's more flirting, man. Last week I was talking about how it seemed like the Knicks and Trae Young were flirting. Like they didn't really have the Knicks haven't really put out any type of real press release about any like real prospects yet. First it was Trae Young, then it was Lonnie Walker. I think they might have said something about a Carter Jr. as well.
Carter Jr. Yeah.
Those are the 3. But a 3-hour lunch, 3-hour dinner. That's huge, man. That's huge. That maybe he's a real sleeper. Lonnie, he's one person that I don't really expect for us to pick at 9.
Yeah, I don't expect it. We never.
But
know.
I don't know if I would be completely mad if we picked him at 9 just because of his freak athleticism. He seems like he has the dog. He's not perfect defensively, but he has the length to actually, translate that into the NBA. And I just like his potential. And that 3-point shot is nice, man. He's like almost like a raw McCall, maybe. I don't know.
Ashwin, what's your take on Lonnie? I think you said you were high on him, right?
Yeah, I like a lot about Lonnie Walker. He's he's a lot like Knox, where you see it with him in flashes. I actually wrote something on him for Posting and Toasting. I'm just going to post in the comments.
Yeah, post the article in the comments.
Yeah, sure.
It's just it's like the thing with him is he's very much like you just see it in flashes. You don't get it all together. But if you look at his season, so he was injured at the start of the season. And so like if you split his season up into 2 halves and like, look, these are small samples, 16 games and 16 games, but his second half of the year, like you could see more improvement. Like he doubled his assists. He upped his scoring. So like, you could kind of see where you can be talked into that upside.
Just figuring it out.
Yeah. But like the other thing though, when I watch him is like, he's a really bad decision maker. Like really, really bad decision maker. He takes stupid shots.
Yeah.
He calls his number like all the time when he doesn't need to call his number or shouldn't call his number. For a combo guard, he doesn't part of being a combo guard is playmaking, and he's not the best playmaker for others anyway. So, like the athleticism is real. Like he does a couple of things every game that you can't teach, that are not like coachable. They're just in you physically or not. And he does a couple of things every game that make you like really say, wow. And like if you listen to him in interviews, he's another one of these kids, like his interviews are just very impressive. He comes across really well. So when I read that, like when I saw that report that he had a 3-hour dinner with the Knicks, like I wasn't that surprised because he's captivating. Like he's very much like a captivating person. And I can see why, they
would want us to meet with him.
Yeah, and I can understand why that meeting would go 3 hours. But I wouldn't take him at 9. As much as I like him, I wouldn't take him at 9.
Yeah.
And if the only scenario where I would take him is if we traded down.
True.
Like that's how I feel about Knox too, because I like a lot of things about both of them. But at 9, I just prefer like a Miles or a McCall,
right?
Or even like a Wendell Carter, where I have less questions about them, even if the upside maybe isn't as high as Knox or Walker.
Yeah.
I prefer like more certainty,
Question for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lonnie Walker or Zaire Smith? Because I feel like Zaire Smith is like defensively better, but he's not very aggressive. But he's not gonna give you much mistakes. But
Zaire is kind of interesting because he's a guard that plays like a big man. Like he posts up a lot. He does like when a lot of guards run pick and roll as a ball handler. Like he runs it as more of a roll man. So he plays like a big man. His defense is crazy. Like his weak side shot blocking.
Yeah, his defense, from what I've seen on the tape, looks impressive, man.
But like with Walker, and this is like an inherent bias for me, is I'll always like, to me, the most important skill in basketball is shot creation. Like if you're if you can create your own shot, then like you're 50% of the way to being an elite offensive player, because the next step is doing that efficiently and knowing when to do it.
Right.
And so with Walker, like I can see, like you can see it with him. Like I said, like his decision making sucks.
But he has the balls. Which is
but
which is like the Miles McCall thing.
Yeah, but like he can get like you can toss Lonnie Walker the ball and he's gonna get you a shot. It might not be a good shot, it might be a stupid shot, but he'll get you a shot. And you can't. Not everybody has that in them. Like not every player has that ability to create space for a shot. And like, you know, I mean that's what makes Kyrie so great, right? Like we talked about Kyrie earlier. Like that's what makes him so great is because he can create out of nothing and he does it efficiently. Like Ken Walker, I mean Mitchell was another guy this year. Like he was super impactful for Utah because even though he wasn't like that efficient, sometimes you just need a guy that like you just need that in your offense to have a guy that can create when everything goes to shit. And like it's the NBA. So there are a lot of possessions where things don't go according to plan, right? And so you need a guy that can improvise and just create. And I just see that more in Lonnie than I do in Zaire, which isn't like if you like Zaire more, that's a totally reasonable and maybe even smarter opinion. But there's just something about Walker that like I admittedly like more than I maybe should.
Yeah.
It's like the Miles McCall thing. Like I said, I feel like the Miles is the one who's probably going to create a little bit more than McCall, and it'll probably be the same for the Zaire versus Lonnie Walker. So
yeah, but Zaire's way better defensively than Walker. So like, I don't think Walker is that bad defensively.
No, he's not. He's not broken.
Yeah, he's not. He's just not an impact defender. But like, he's okay. He's fine. But with Zaire's, he's an impact defender. Like if he's on the floor, you'll know he's on the floor on defense.
True indeed. So the next person I want to get to is, I guess the biggest mystery in the draft is Michael Porter Jr. So the Friday meeting that was supposed to be on yesterday was canceled. He had a hip impingement or something going on with his hip. They don't know if the hip is tied to the back. You know, the back medical came back okay. I don't know, man. I don't know if this guy is trying to angle for a certain team or is there just warning signs about this kid? I'm not sure. What's your Jay Ellis? What's your take on this Michael Porter Jr. situation?
I don't know, man. I think he was trying to angle for a certain team. To be honest with you, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's all smoke and mirrors. He's all smoke and mirrors. His
hip
back
spasms.
Is fine, his hip spasms.
Come on.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, what's up with that? The dude hasn't played, and you're already getting more injuries, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I think it's all smoke and mirrors. He's trying to wiggle his way to a team. He might have got an early commitment and was like,
I think it's the Bulls. For some reason, I just feel like him and the Bulls. I think there's some collusion going on in there.
Yeah, he only gave his he had like the Bulls doctors do his medical stuff, right?
Yeah,
and then like you had to ask the Bulls for his medical records, and he had to like approve that. That was the whole process of how you could get his medical records, and that's mad. That's so shady.
That's shady, man.
So shady.
It's collusion.
You know what? Like, I'm fine when players do that because you're gonna be in this place for the next 7, 8, 9 years. More power to you if you can get to some place that you want to be.
It's collusion, man. I'm telling you. Like Trump said, no collusion. There's collusion going on with MPJ and the Bulls, man. But it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes for sure. Definitely gonna be interesting.
Did he even have the pro day on Friday because it was off, then it was on, then he was cleared?
Let me check.
He was cleared.
Real quick.
I don't know. Came out in the chat tell us because he was cleared. I got the news he was cleared.
Yeah, where's Cody at? Cody usually knows.
Oh yeah, our Bulls insider.
Bulls insider Cody from Brooklyn usually knows what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure, man.
I heard he was cleared, but I haven't seen anything about the actual pro day.
Right.
So,
he's like somebody that he's so interesting because we don't. I mean, the only real tape on him is from high school stuff.
Yeah.
And so like that setting is obviously he's so much better than most of the guys on the floor there that it's hard to like know if that translates against better players. But look, like I guess with him, it's something where you have to trust your scouts and then you have to trust your medical team. So like if your scouts are telling you this guy is the real deal and your medical team is saying he'll be fine. I mean, if he's on the board at 9 somehow, which I don't think he will be because I think the furthest he's going to fall is Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel if the Knicks drafted him. I'd be excited, but I'd also be really scared.
Yeah.
Do we trust? No one talks about this enough. Do we trust his cupcake defense?
I trust Fizdale, man. I trust Fizdale. Fizdale is gonna get him right. He said he's gonna get Moutier right. If he can get Moutier right, he'll turn Michael Porter Jr. into a superstar.
But
if you're 6'11" and can shoot, like you can forgive some stuff. Like if
that's what I'm saying, man.
Like if Knox develops into some efficient, like if he develops into an efficient scorer, but isn't the hardest trier on defense, you'll probably figure out a way to work around that.
No, there's definitely a scale, right? There's a scale where if you're this good at offense, we forgive other stuff. There's definitely a scale.
True.
But as a rookie, and you're gonna have to show me something. I mean, I just don't want it to be completely broken. You know what I mean? Give me something to work on. You gotta slide your feet, something minimal.
The way he
the 3 position.
The way he dribbles is so weird. Like he's so upright when he dribbles. It looks like I don't know. Like he feels like he should be a better athlete than he is when I watch him play. Like it's so weird. And again, it's high school stuff. So even though I feel that way, he's still like blowing past dudes and dunking and stuff, right? But I can't shake that when I watch him. I just feel like, why does this dude move? And then he had a back problem, so I'm like, oh, that's why he looks so stiff. Like, so I don't know though. It's with him. It's again like it would be exciting because this is a guy before the season started. He was basically like a consensus top 3,
True indeed.
talent. And so if he's available at 9, how much has changed in a year? Like his back obviously is an issue, which we don't know. Like we don't know the severity of. Right?
True.
But I'm assuming if you pick him, you have done your due diligence on his medical background and everything, and must feel pretty good about it.
So at that point, it's man.
Like, at that point, like it's about his mentality and then his just pure talent. And like, it's hard when you watch him. I mean, the guy is 6'11" and he pulls up like he looks like when he pulls up, you can see why people have been throwing around, which I think is crazy because it's Kevin Durant's no slouch, but you can understand like the KD ceiling comparisons that people throw around for Porter Jr. Because man, when you can shoot and you're that tall like that, that's a wrap.
Yeah, you can see it, man. You can see it. All right, we're gonna kick off to the second round picks. Who's our options at number 36? But before we do that, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Welcome to Post Game Live. It's your boy CP from Knicks Fan TV. My man Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time Show. Special guest Ashwin, aka Schwinny Pooh, writer for the Posting and Toasting blog and other Knicks publications as well. So salute to everybody for joining us today, man. Definitely shout out everybody in the chat. I see a Nas debate going on. That new Nas album is knocking. So shout out to everybody talking about that Nas album. Shout out Robert Parrish. Who else in here? Fritz Alcindor. Fritz just calls. Thanks for the call, Fritz. Michael Charles, what's going on? T. Williams, what up? Alexander Perez says, I wouldn't touch MPJ with my sister's dick. Okay.
Wow. Can we unpack that statement?
Okay. My man Alexander went all the way south on that one. Okay.
Can we unpack it? Okay, no, we'll leave that alone.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I couldn't post the link for whatever in the Lonnie Walker one in the chat.
Okay.
I'll put it up on my Twitter.
All right.
And if you want to take a look at it, you can obviously click the link.
Okay.
Troy,
go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, shout out to PDZ too and Drip Bayless NYK. Welcome back, man.
Troy Flett said, why is it called Post Game Live? Troy, it's called Post Game Live because we started this after the Knicks games. We just kept the name, but you get the gist of it, man. It's the Knicks fan hangout, chat, talk shit, whatever you want, man. Just give your opinions. And, that's it, man. It's just for us to vibe out and talk about these Knicks. Simeon in the building, nothing but Knicks. What's good, bro? We definitely got to talk about that collabo as well. Matthew in here, what's good? Tyon Reed, what's good? What'd he say? Oh, Zach Randolph's brother was killed this morning. Damn. Shout out to Zebo. That's crazy.
That's the same.
That's crazy, man. Love Zebo, man. It was one of my favorite Knicks during some trash basketball.
He got traded when we were 8th.
Yeah, man. Alan Leon was good. Yeah. All right, so Schwinny, man, let's kick it off with these second round picks. Number 36 is definitely a viable option in terms of maybe getting a player that can crack this rotation in the near future. So who are some of the guys that you like at 36? potentially.
So one guy I like a lot is Bruce Brown. He played with Lonnie Walker at Miami. Um, he is a little bit older, even though he only finished even though he was just a sophomore. He's going to be 22 in a couple months, so he's not exactly the youngest guy. But what I really like about him, so he's a combo guard, and he's got like real playmaking talent. He is really good in the pick and roll. He's not just one of these guys that when he runs a pick and roll, he's only going to pass it to the roll man. Like he can make reads to kick out to shooters, and he can make the advanced reads in those situations, which is really impressive. Even though he had to play point this year, even though he's not a point because Miami's point guards were awful. And like his biggest concern is for me, he's also a really, really good rebounder for his size. Like he averaged 7 rebounds a game, and he's a 6'5" guard. So like he plays hard. He's a really good on-ball defender. He's switchable. Like he can defend ones, twos, even some threes, just because he's pretty long. Like he's got a 6'10" wingspan. That's very nice. The reason he is going to be a second-round pick, most likely, or late first at best, is that his shooting really fell off this year. So his first year, he was 46% from the field, basically, and like 34.7 from three, 74 from the free throw line. This year, 41.5 from the field, a pretty hideous 26.7% from three, and 63% from the free throw line. So that's like really significant drop-offs. Some of that is the fact that he was asked to create more off the dribble, and he's really, really bad at creating off the dribble. He can actually create okay. He just is like god awful at pull-up shooting, like really bad at pull-up shooting. It's not his forte at all. So
you're looking at more of a defensive swing man here.
The bet with him, and this is why I like him, is that I think he's going to be a good defender. I think he's going to rebound. He's going to be a good secondary playmaker that can run pick and roll and stuff like that for you at times. He's good in transition. He's athletic. He's going to do all those things, I'm pretty sure, at the NBA level. But his shooting is ultimately going to decide if he's just a specialist or can he be a solid rotation player. Because if he can get up to league average 3-point shooting, then he's an awesome player to have. He can play with basically any guard if he gets to that level. And I don't know, just the thought of him and Frank in the backcourt at times defensively is awesome. So yeah, I mean, I like him a little bit more than Javon Carter from West Virginia just because of his size. But Javon Carter's probably a safer bet because he's got 3.3. He can shoot. He'll be able to shoot. But he's a more limited defender because he's only 6'2". But with same thing with Carter, but with Brown too. He's got a motor. That kid plays his ass off, and as we've talked about multiple times so far already, that's obviously really important.
True indeed. Let's go to the next guy. Who's the next guy you got in 36?
So Moritz Wagner.
Mo Wagner.
He's a stretch big, played in Michigan. I am a Michigan fan, so I've actually watched. I watched his entire career. 3 years.
I like him. I like him. He's definitely stretch big for sure.
So we talked about, we need guys that play with swagger a little bit. This kid is not your typical Euro. He loves to talk shit. He loves to run his mouth, and he will run his mouth constantly. And I love it because he backs it up. He got better every year that he was in school. He is just a lot. He just got better. When he came in, he was just mostly kind of a stretch big. That's it. He just shot. If he got a 3-point shot, that was it. He was a really bad rebounder for a big man. He wasn't really an active or even committed defender. His junior year, and he's actually only just going to be 21. He just turned 21, which is pretty young for a 3-year college player. But his senior year, he improved across the board in basically everything. He averaged 7 rebounds a game, and most of those were defensive rebounds because he played outside a lot, so he's not an offensive rebounder. So he was a really good defensive rebounder as a junior. has like really impressive handles for a guy his size. He's just like he's got like hesitation dribbles. He's got an in and out.
Okay.
He can go behind the back. Like if you're defending him with like if for like just an example of like a really shitty defender that you couldn't put on him, if you put like Jahlil Okafor on him, he will
Barbecue
destroy.
chicken.
Yeah, like he's like like the problem with Cornette, for example, right? Like even if he's a good shooter, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't, he's not like he can't really do anything off the dribble. So
yeah,
like unless his shot is wet, he's not
much value for you. I get it.
Yeah. Like with Wagner, if his shot isn't wet, like he can get you buckets off the drive. He's not like the strongest in the post. He's not going to bully you in the post, but he has moves. Like he has moves down there. So he's more of a finesse player offensively. Like he's not soft,
right?
But he's not like going to overpower you or bully you. He's a skill player. Maybe that's like a better way of saying it than finesse. He's a skill player. And defensively, like, yeah, he got a lot better, but he's not a rim protector. Like he's averaged half a block a game this year as a starting center, right? So he's not a rim protector. But like I think that he's a little bit better laterally on the perimeter than Porzingis is. And so
stretch fours maybe be able to
I think like his best position for like if the Knicks did pick him would be as a stretch four. And again, like because he became a better defensive rebounder, that is more okay with me because like if he was still a terrible defensive rebounder, the thought of him and KP playing together in the front court would be terrifying.
Yeah,
Porzingis is such a bad rebounder.
That would be tough, man.
Yeah.
I would hope, at that 36 position they look to get maybe a defensive oriented, a big man, an athletic big that can get on the boards, get after it defensively, get scrappy out there. I'm looking for Enes Kanter's replacement.
Wendell Carter Jr.
To put it lightly, if Wendell is there. And I think, we didn't touch on it, but they think he's not going to fall past 9 to the Knicks. If Wendell is there, I still think I'd take Mikal Bridges over him.
Mikal or Miles, or both?
I would go with Mikal. If Mikal is gone, I'd go with Miles, but I think I'm leaning more, and we'll get to our predictions in a second, but I think I'm leaning more Mikal.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning more Mikal.
Yeah, like if I was ranking in order of importance, there are 3 things, like, if we got another pick, right?
Yeah.
I would want to hit these 3 things. And in order of importance, like, big wing. Like a big wing is the most important thing that we need on this team. The second one is, like, a good combo guard. I think that unlocks a lot for us in our backcourt because Burke is obviously, like, what he did offensively was really nice, but he was really bad on defense. And then just having, like, I think like Frank benefits from playing with somebody that can handle a little bit as well. So I would like a combo guard if possible. That's a big reason I like Bruce Brown a lot. And then the third is like another stretch big 4 or 5 guy, which is why I like Wagner. So like if all the guys that we're going to talk about were on the board, Wagner wouldn't be my pick. But like, if they picked him, I would be fine with it because I like the player and I like his skill set and what he brings to the table. And I think him next to KP would be, I think it'd be really dynamic offensively.
Yeah. The more I think about it though, the more I'm starting to think that maybe like a stretch for like a guy like Wendell Carter Jr. might be more important at this time, only because of this weird position we're in where we have like Dotson, Frank, Troy Williams, like this weird 2-3 stuff thing happening. We have like 30 of those guys.
We need 3 4s. We need like we need a 3-4.
Yeah,
and or a 4-5.
Yep.
But then you look at Enes Kanter, who has 1 year left, and I don't see the money matching up where we'll be able to sign him long term. And then we have Kyle Quinn, so we're pretty much 1 year away from having no 4s.
I mean, even if the money matched up for Enes, would you really want him?
Hell no. No.
I like Ennis and I say before I say again, I like Ennis and KP together. I feel like they complement each other.
I don't.
When KP is gone though,
I don't like
story.
him.
And I feel like he can still he still can have a nice role as being like a really good post player who's very efficient and can rebound and give you offensive buckets. Like we when he was out, we felt it. I felt like in the season.
Oh, I mean, he's probably the worst. I mean, he's at least like one of the worst starting centers defensively.
Defensively, he's one of the worst, man.
Defensively, yeah. So even off the bench, but the money he would want to command.
I don't think he's gonna get it. To be honest, I think he's gonna end up opting in. Who the hell is gonna pay him over $20 million? No,
I'm not even talking about
games.
I'm not even talking about this season. I'm talking about beyond this season.
Yeah.
We don't have him. Then we have Kyle Quinn, and we'll be shopping for a big man.
Yeah, go shop. Go shop. I'm good, man.
You can get big men for cheap now.
You can get big men for cheap. You know what I'm saying? You may not be able to replace his offense right away. You know, I think offensively, this team with KP out, and if you lose Canner, offensively, you're gonna be looking for somewhere to get buckets. Depending.
What is the new cheap for big men? Like 15,000?
What is the new what?
I mean, 15 million. What's the new cheap for big men?
Oh man, I don't even know.
I don't know.
You got to think though, like, because I mean, like for example, like Dwayne Dedman, who's he's like fine, he's an okay center, but he got like $3 million last year, so you can get like decent bigs.
You can get them, man. You can get them. Guys that could actually finish a game. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see. I'm sorry, that's a whole other show.
Yeah. Kieran Clark in the chat said, I love Cannon's heart, but not his contract.
In the next 2-3 years. I want to see who's available, yo.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. Shout out everybody in the chat. You know, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Make sure you hit that like on the video too if you like it. Share with a fellow Knicks fan so we could get the group a bit bigger for the next one. Shout out to CP, the artist in the building. Young Hayes, what's good? Just got in. Mitsu Moriyama got in. He said Capella will get paid. I think Capella will get paid.
Yeah, Capella will get paid.
Yeah,
Capella's awesome.
Capella's because and he couldn't finish a game either. Capella. But 2 seasons ago, every big man was getting like millions and millions of dollars. Biombo was getting
money. What's my man got paid? Who's the guy that got paid? Who's absolutely trash? Amir Johnson. Is that Amir? That's it? Amir Johnson. Man.
I feel like people overpay for big men.
Facts.
That's why I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, man. Robert Parrish, what's good? P Styles, what up? New Jizzle, welcome to the chat. Who else is in here? Ace Canty in the building. What's good? Ace, he's always in here. Who else? Alpha G, what's good? Alpha G, I think, is from either London or Paris. So what's good? Alpha G's up and at him. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the chat. Thanks for coming through. We got a couple days to the draft. Simeon, where are you gonna be for the draft, man? Let us know. I think more than likely we will be at the Garden. I'll probably be at the Knicks draft party at MSG rather than Barclays, but I will let everybody know that officially later on this weekend. Shwinny, what's the next guy we got here? You know, go Vanderbilt or Frazier?
Yeah, let's go Vanderbilt.
Okay.
So Jared Vanderbilt, he's a combo forward out of Kentucky, more of a 4 than a 3, but he can switch. Like he can switch 1 through 4 for sure on defense. And you know, with the way the league is going, like we saw in both the conference finals, like I mean, if PJ Tucker can play 5 and shit like that, like Vanderbilt can probably play 5 at some point. So yeah, he's really switchable defensively. That's his biggest value. He is a lot like I was telling you guys before we started the show, but he's a lot like he's very much like a poor man's Lamar Odom in how he plays. He's a really he shows some flashes of really dynamite ball handling for a player his size. 6'9", 7'1", 7'2" wingspan, I think. So he's a long player. He is lefty also, which is why like poor man's Lamar Odom comes in. He can handle the ball. He's really good at grabbing rebounds and then immediately like bring the ball up the floor himself, which is something the Knicks don't really have, like a good grab and go player that can just push it. I guess like
push it up the court.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, maybe 5 years ago. But like I guess like Timmy's the best, and even he's not great at that. But like for his size, his handle is really nice. He has a tendency to turn the ball over a little bit, which I'm fine with because like he does it trying to make plays that you want him to try and make, and he's young, right? Like he's gonna make turnovers. So like I'm to me that's not a long-term concern. The biggest concern with him is he's 2. he had 3 injuries to his foot in high school, or 2 in high school, and then 1 that happened right before the start of his season at Kentucky, and that held him out for like the first half of the year. He played 14 games, and then he hurt his ankle before the tournament. But that's not that's not a major concern. It's the foot that's the concern. And then the other thing is he just can't shoot at all. Like he cannot shoot. He has no range. So that's like obviously a concern, especially now because like it's like a crisis if one guy can't shoot in your lineup nowadays. But like I think what's kind of interesting with him is, and we're one of those teams where this is like kind of the value of KP is we're like very uniquely positioned to be okay with a player like that because like if because what he gives you defensively is kind of the player that he unlocks the ability to play KP at the 5, right? Because he's an elite rebounder. Like he was his defensive rebound percentage was like 27, almost 27.9, which is crazy. That's like, I don't, to give you an example, I'm pretty sure that was higher than Cantor this year. And we know Cantor was a beast on the boards. You can double check that if you want.
It's top 10.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, you can double check Cantor's percentage I'm saying, but yeah, yeah, Vanderbilt is an elite rebounder and he's super switchable on defense. So like he can take perimeter players and let KP,
do
rim
his thing.
protect. Yeah. So like I think like, and from all accounts, he's a good kid, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. He was a really highly coveted recruit coming out of high school. And so, the reason he dropped is injuries and couldn't shoot. So
okay,
this is like, you're betting on a couple of things here, but even if he can't shoot, this guy is going to have an NBA career as long as he's healthy because like, having these switchable defensive guys, it's something that is just so important to teams now. And he has that. So like worst case scenario, I think if he's healthy, he's going to be a defensive specialist, which is like, if you haven't noticed, that's kind of like my thing in this round, just to get guys that are defensive specialists aside from Wagner. Yeah, I don't know. He's like a total potential play, but the potential is very high. I guess like worst case scenario is he's like, the infamous Anthony Randolph, but I don't think he's, but I don't think he's not like a head case. I don't think he's an idiot. Like he knows what he is. Anthony Randolph's problem was like, he thought he was Lamar Odom. Vanderbilt doesn't think he's Lamar Odom. He's very much like a gritty player and he wants to play make, but he's not crazy about it. He's not trying to take like 15 jump shots a game or anything like that either. He knows he can't shoot.
Definitely does more push-ups than Anthony Randolph.
Yeah, facts. Who'd Anthony Randolph try to fight over the Euro League?
KP.
KP, yes, that's right, man. Anthony Randolph and KP try to get into it, man.
Vanderbilt won't fight KP, I promise.
Oh my God. Anthony Randolph. They really try to sell us hard on this Anthony Randolph for the David Lee trade, man. We got nothing back from the David Lee trade, man.
Nothing.
We still waiting for Azubuike to get cleared, man.
Yo, he said Azubuike.
Yo, when we got Azubuike, I was like, yo, we might be able to resurrect this kid, man.
And Turiaf.
Oh my God, Roni. Roni was a fan favorite, man.
Actually, I like Turiaf, actually.
Yeah, I like
Roni.
He
was fine.
He was cool. He was cool. Roni was cool. All right, let's wrap this up with Frazier. What's your take on this kid? I seen a couple mock drafts have us taking Melvin Frazier.
I honestly, I'm just gonna say, like, I think I would probably, if I had like a pick in, I don't know, 19, 20, 22, something like that, I would take him. I think he's like that good. I think it's crazy that he's even being mocked to us. If he's on the board, I'm 100% taking him, no question. I don't even, they give
even if we took a
I don't care who we take. I would take him. I would just take him because, like, I mean, look at these teams, right? Like Boston, Houston. Like, you can't have enough wings in the NBA. You just can't. You can't. And the thing with him is, like, man, his defense is real. He is a crazy athlete. This guy, like, you just YouTube it after if you want, but like, he just smashed on UNC so hard this year. Had a crazy in-game dunk on them. He's fearless. Like when he goes to the rim, he's just going to the rim, and like he can finish around you, but he's not scared to finish through you either. Like he'll take you into the basket with him. So like I just love how he plays. He's actually improved his playmaking a lot. Like he's not like, he doesn't show great, amazing vision, but like he's unselfish. So when he plays, like he'll pass up a good shot for him for a better shot for you, right? He's an unselfish player. He improved his shooting percentages across the board every year. Like he started off as like a 28% 3-point shooter. Last year he was at 38%. Yeah, man, like his handle is a work. It's much better than it was. He's like actually improved a lot with his just handle. He can like run pick and roll now a little bit, but he's not a great ball handler. Like he kind of stays too upright when he dribbles. But yeah, man, like his defense, dude, this guy, he's, you know, like there are guys that get 2 steals like Kawhi where they just rip you, but like they're not like gambling and playing passing lanes. But then there are guys like Russell Westbrook who get 2 steals, but like it's because he's never where he's supposed to be. He is like more of a Kawhi. Like he'll
rip that shit straight from your hands.
Yeah, he'll just take your soul. Like he'll just take your life from you. Like that guy, you can't be weak around him. You cannot be weak around him. So yeah, like I said, I think it's nuts that he.
So why you think he's fallen so far in the mocks?
So he played at Tulane. Not exactly like the toughest competition he played.
Yeah.
He didn't get a lot of shine there. They didn't even make the tournament. I don't think any of the years he was there. Definitely didn't make it this year.
True.
So the shot is improved percentage wise, but like the form, he probably needs to tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
He probably needs to work on his mechanics a little bit. So I think like, you know, with how important shooting is to everybody, that's probably a reason why he's not as highly coveted. He's 22, so I think the view is that like that he's doesn't have upside. I disagree. Like I said, when I watch him on film, like he pops, he stands out. And to me, with how athletic he is and the fact that he's shown growth every year, like it's conceivable that he can, like, that the ball handling, to me, it's not like a lost cause at all, right? He's not clueless, he's not incapable. He's just kind of raw and still figuring it out. And like, I don't know, when I look at him, I'm like, yo, get Fizdale this guy.
Yeah.
Get Fizdale this guy, because Fizdale will get his paws on this guy and be like, okay, you're going to be our Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that type of player where you maybe not like the greatest college career, but then they get to the NBA, they develop, and you're like, holy shit, like how did this guy, I don't even, like Josh Richardson, I forget, I don't even know if I think he was like a 44th, 45th pick or something like that. But I'm just talking about like in that term, that kind of like, you know, I can just imagine 2 or 3 years from now, people are gonna be like, how the hell did this guy like drop
so far? Yeah.
Because like he's just, and like, so if you look at him, he's 6'6", 200 pounds. He's got like a 7 foot, 1.75 inch wingspan. So he's like, you know, he's got that Frank type wingspan. But like when you say 6'6", 200, like Timmy is 6'6", 200, right? But when you look at him, you're like, this dude's not thick. Like he can't hold his 6'6", 200. When you look at him, like you don't feel like he's undersized at all against threes even. Like he looks like a 3. But yeah, if you can't tell, I love this kid.
Yeah.
I'm sold, man. I'm sold on him. I'm hoping he falls to us.
Like I said,
Frazier, man.
I'm sold.
Like,
yeah.
I mentioned it before, like if we did do a trade down or something, like, man, he would be definitely somebody I would be okay with picking in that scenario. Like he's just, if we can get another first somehow, he's 100% the guy I would pick.
Interesting.
Yo, shout out to my guy Drip Bayless. He said he had an Othello Harrington jersey.
Oh my God, bro. He's loyal. Applaud that man. He's loyal.
Oh my God.
I didn't even know you could catch an Othello Harrington jersey in the store, man. Applaud that guy, man.
Weatherspoon or Othello Harrington, though.
Oh my
Weatherspoon
God.
or Othello Harrington.
If you had a Mo Taylor jersey, you're a real Knicks fan, bro.
Oh, Mo Taylor. Oh my God.
If you had a Mo Taylor swingman hanging up in the closet, you're a real one. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, Lee Nailon.
Oh my
Lee
God!
Lee.
If you had a Lee nylon jersey, you're the
I
goat.
still, whatever, man. I still feel like Billy Walker had a shot, man.
Oh my God, Sky Billy Walker, man! I would just watch those trash Knicks just to see Billy dunk. I wanted to see Billy do a
he still had a
360.
shot. I would sign him. Whatever.
Sean Williams.
Oh my God, Sean! Wait,
Three-point
Sean Williams
specialist.
was the 3-point gunner.
Yeah, he sold out. Went to the Brooklyn paint job.
Sure. Oh my God.
Yeah. So on Bruce Brown and Mo Wagner, I actually wrote pieces on those two. I'll tweet those out also from my account.
Yeah.
I have written stuff on Vanderbilt and Frazier. It just hasn't been published, but
Okay.
they are. Obviously, just look out for it. Check it out.
Okay. Yeah. Send all those to either me or Jay Ellis. We'll definitely get those out there. All right. Yeah, that was the second round, man. So let's get down to the predictions, man. Let's get down to predictions. So Jay Ellis, I'm gonna start with you. What does your heart tell you? What does your head tell you at the number 9 pick?
Man,
With the 9th pick, and let me get my Adam Silver voice on. With the 9th pick of the 2018 NBA draft, the New York Knicks select. That sounded kind of like David Stern a little bit too, though. I don't know, man. It was a little mix.
You didn't sound smug enough.
All right, so all right, yeah, Jay Ellis, what does your heart tell you? Who do you want, and who do you predict?
I feel like we're gonna end up getting McCall.
Okay, so that's your prediction.
Yeah, but I want Miles or Wendell Carter, and the only reason why I really wanted Miles, but the news that it seemed like Knox was a standout during their group workout makes my heart kind of like weep a little bit, like, oh, maybe that dream might be fading if he got washed, during the group workout. And I think there's a possibility Wendell could fall to us if the Cavs don't pick him. But then again, I feel like the Cavs might try to pick like more of a difference maker, more of a.
I think they're gonna try to sell
shot.
tickets, man. I think they're gonna try to sell tickets. I think if Porter ends up down there, there's no chance they wouldn't take him. They 100% would take Michael Porter Jr.
So
if he's down
that's
there.
why I would say my guess would be McCall.
Okay, so you want Miles or Carter, but your guess is McCall.
Yeah.
Okay, Schwinny, over to you, man. What's your heart telling you, and what's your head telling you?
Yeah, I would. So like I basically go back and forth between, like, for me, like who I'd want between Miles and Wendell Carter. I just go back and forth between those two all the time.
Yeah.
I like McCall. I just like don't see the upside that he has compared to those two, which isn't like a knock. Like he's going to be a really solid pro for sure. I think there's no risk with McCall. Like what?
He's a safe.
There's
pick.
no risk. But there's risk with Miles. There's risk with Wendell Carter. But if I had to pick between those two today, which will probably change in like the next couple hours, but I would pick Wendell Carter. If what do I think the Knicks are going to do?
Yeah.
I think they're going to take Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
And like I do get like this really strange vibe. I think like the Lonnie Walker stuff is real. I think they really like him. Because I like that 3-hour dinner wasn't like I don't know if you guys listen to I'm sure you know Mike Vorkunov.
Yeah.
Writes for the Athletic.
He does good work.
Yeah. On his pod a few weeks ago, Jonathan Wasserman was on, and he was saying that he had heard that the Knicks were really high on Lonnie Walker. So he definitely seems that to me is Knox kind of seems like smoke. Lonnie Walker to me, that seems real. I think like he's like, because they've talked about all this like athleticism and they want to get all that stuff on the wing.
And it also goes to the best play available versus need. What if they put this kid Lonnie Walker ahead of these guys? You never know.
Right.
So you feel like we're like trading back or something to like the Clippers or the Nuggets or something like that?
I mean, if they could trade back and pick up an extra pick or something.
I don't see them be able to trade back unless Michael Porter Jr. is there at 9. I don't think anyone else is commanding. I
could see Trae Young dropping.
Maybe Trae Young. Yeah.
And I like Trae. I think I like him. I think, dude, that guy's vision is. I mean, you can say what you want about whether his shooting's going to translate, athleticism, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact the one thing in basketball you cannot teach is vision. You cannot teach vision, and he has vision. And whatever. But like, I don't know if I would want the Knicks to take him, but you could definitely trade that. Like, I think the Clippers would probably give up 12. And
Right, that's what I'm saying. Either MPJ or Trey could potentially net you those Clippers picks. But also they got Clippers also got Milos, right? They got Milos at the 1.
Yeah. Yo, that guy can pass.
He could pass, man. He could pass. So
maybe nothing else. Like he's always looking hungover, but that guy can pass.
Facts. Yo, whoever just called up, man, we're gonna take the calls next. So just hold your calls. So I guess it's on me with the predictions. My heart, who would I want? I feel like this team, we're desperate for an impact player, man. We're desperate for an impact player. At number 9, it's going to be tougher to get. Not saying it's impossible. Obviously, look at Donovan Mitchell. He fell all the way to 13, 14 last year. So anything is possible with how a player can translate when he gets to this level. But I guess my dream scenario, call me crazy, but if Michael Porter Jr. is there at 9, I'm rolling the dice and I'm taking him. I just think he has the most potential, the most star potential, and we desperately need it. We don't know if KP can be the guy. We don't know if he could be the 1A. We know he could probably be the 1B or the 2. So I think we need to try to get that star power. So my heart would want Michael Porter Jr. in an ideal scenario. My head is just telling me just stick with the safe pick. I think it's going to end up being Mikal Bridges. I was wavering, this whole month up to the draft between Miles and Mikal because I feel like to your point, Jay Ellis, and to your point, Schwinny, I think Miles could potentially have the bigger upside, especially on the offensive end. He just seems like he has that dog in him. But listen, defense wins games, man. And if you put Frank, Mikal Bridges, and once a big man comes back and KP with that rim protection, filling the passing lanes with that length, getting that versatility, on the defensive end, being able to switch off on multiple positions.
And he can shoot.
He can shoot the 3 ball. He can shoot the 3 ball. So, yes, it's a safe pick, but I think we got to play it that way, man. And you can't lose with defense. You can't lose with drafting that defender. So my heart says MPJ, barring any miracle, or if we find a miracle, but my head says just go with Mikal.
There you go.
That's it, man. Everybody in the chat, man, give us your predictions at number 9, man. Who do you want and who do you predict at number 9? What do you think is going to happen? I think Robert Parrish earlier said we got draft anxiety, and we definitely do, man. Yo, we've been talking draft for like the last month, man. So
but at least we can talk draft. You know how nice it is to have our picks?
Hey, should we thank Phil for that?
Man.
Should we thank Phil Jackson for that? You know what I mean?
I don't care who we got to thank. I'll thank Dolan for that. I don't care, man. No, actually, a funny thing about that, the whole pick thing is, so you remember when they fired Grunwald or whatever?
Yeah.
And so Mills came in. Dolan. So that was after that ridiculous Bargnani.
Oh my God! I wanted to kill Grunwald for that, man. I wanted to kill Grunwald for that.
And Walt Frazier was still trying to sell us on him all year long.
Oh my God, man!
So
Bargnani was supposed to be the Roy Hibbert killer. Remember when Roy Hibbert? We turned Roy Hibbert into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They was like,
Tyson,
we need somebody to
Chandler
stretch the floor. Jesus, man! They got Bargnani, man.
So when they did that, Dolan actually hired some outside consulting firm to do an analysis on the Knicks.
Caller, hold on. Go ahead, Shwinny. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I guess one of the things that the analysis told them was shockingly maybe don't trade away all your picks. Maybe don't do that. So since then we haven't traded them. So I don't know if that's just a Phil thing or a Scott Perry thing or whatever, but it's definitely a Dolan got a wake up call thing.
Oh wow.
Thank God, man. Thank God. We need to be building assets. We got a caller coming in from Newport News, VA. Yo.
Yo, peace and blessings. Rahotep.
Yo, Rahotep. What's good, my dude? Happy Saturday, man. Thanks for calling. What's going on?
Thank you. Peace and blessings to y'all for again. And I'm grateful to be subscribed to Knicks Fan TV as well. But my question is, for number 9, I think the potential upside can't be matched because of his work ethics and what John Calipari can do. And we all know some Kentucky players like John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins that they thing. But as far as who we should just ultimately pick, I think we should go safe. I want to say Wendell Carter, but he's playing the same position as Porzingis because that's where he naturally want to be at the 4. But I would safely go with my man, Mikal Bridges. I think he's NBA ready.
All right. Yo, Ra Hotep, thanks for the call, man. We're going to keep it moving so other people could call in, but thanks for the comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. I think you have already, but yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, brother. Peace.
All right.
Yeah. I think Carter could play the 5, though.
Think he could?
He has to wait to play the 5, and he gives you 2 blocks a game, and he can rebound, and he can post.
I mean, if Carter can shoot a little bit and he can pass. If Cantor could do those things, we'd be fine with Cantor, but he can't. And he can't play defense.
There's more to defense for Cantor.
Yeah.
Passing big man is it's like a plus for me for big man.
Facts.
A big plus.
We got somebody calling in from BK. Yo.
Yo, what's up, my guys? I love what y'all doing with the show. I love it, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate it, man. Who's this?
New 3 screens.
Travis from New York.
Travis from New York. What's good, Travis? This is your first time calling, right? I don't think I heard you before.
It's my first time calling. I always watch you guys. And
okay.
I like it. I like what y'all guys are doing.
Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. It's just a forum for the Knicks fans to connect, man. Just bringing that that opportunity for us, man. So it's been fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the picks, man, I like both of the Bridges.
Okay.
I love both of. But I like Miles more. I like Miles. I'm with Miles Bridges on this one.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm hoping is I just hope the Knicks do not draft the power forward out of Duke.
You don't want Wendell Carter. Is it a Duke thing or you just don't like him?
Not a Duke thing. I don't like it. I'm like with that pick. The Knicks need a scorer, a wing player. I just don't like that pick. Honestly, I just don't like the pick.
Okay. All right, yo, appreciate the call, man. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, man. Thanks for the support.
Okay. I got you. Subscribe right now. I got you.
All right, thanks, man.
My thing is, though, he can score, though. That's the thing that I think people kind of overlook.
Yeah.
Because he was in Bagley's shadow.
Yeah.
He can score out the post. When Bagley went down, he was able to hold down the scoring load. His points per game moved up to 18.
Yeah, like what I really like about Carter is, so there's this perception that he's not like a scorer or whatever. Yeah, the guy was an elite prospect. Like he was a really, really big prospect, and he sacrificed his scoring, and like he covered for Bagley sucks on defense, man. Talk about a guy that has no clue. Like Carter covered for him so hard on defense, and he sacrificed his scoring to like it makes sense because Bagley is. I mean, that guy is a ridiculous scorer.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense that Carter sacrificed for him, but like he did that and didn't complain, didn't bitch. Like that counts for something. If you're like talking about building, if you're talking about building like team culture, like those are the kind of guys you want in that context. And that's why I like Mikal too, because he doesn't care if he's scoring 20.
He's selfless, man. I like that. Yeah. I like that about the kid a lot.
To me, that's the perfect compliment to KP as a big, damn near perfect.
That's why I feel like we can't lose with this kid.
With the Wendell Carter pick, if as far as a big man for years to come, damn near perfect compliment to KP.
But I do get like the we need a wing thing. I totally and like I even said it, like that's what we need more than anything on this team. I just think that like when you're, first of all, we suck, like we're a bad team. Yes. When you're not good, I think you just have to take the best talent that's there. And I think like I said, I'll probably go back on this in a couple hours, but right now I think Carter is the best talent. If he's there, I think he's like probably the best talent on the board.
Question for you. Is this thing where he said he can't guard stretch fours? You think that's overblown, or is that like?
Yeah, that was my next question.
I think that he's not the greatest at it, but like I talked about it. I went on a podcast earlier this week and I talked about it, but like I don't know. People get so caught up on this, right? Like, oh, we can't do this, but. Like, first of all, the second best defensive team in the league was Utah, and they play Gobert and Favors. And, like, neither of those guys is some, like, elite perimeter defender at all.
True.
So I think there's more to defense than can he switch out on the perimeter and, like, defend guys. Like, really what we're talking about when we say that is could he play against Golden State or Houston?
Right, yeah.
And it's like, yo, we suck so bad. We don't need to worry about that right now.
True.
we need to just get good players. And, like, if we get to that point,
we'll figure it out.
That's a good problem
we'll make
to have.
That adjustment when we need to be, yeah.
But like, I mean, I think that he can. I think he's like actually pretty decent laterally. He had a foot injury that he suffered halfway through the year that people don't talk about, that didn't get discussed, which I think held him back to an extent. And
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead. Finish.
yeah, and like if you just watch him on film, like a lot of the times his issues on the perimeter are more about like, I mean, he's a big man, right? Like it's hard for these guys when you keep telling them like, got to bend your knees, got to stay low, like that. It's technique, right? That's technique. And so like a lot of times if you watch him on the perimeter, he's like too upright or he's flat-footed. And I think he can improve on that, and like he can become a better. Maybe not. He's never going to be like an elite athlete, but he can be a better athlete. Like all his measurements, if you compare them, like the upside comp he keeps getting is Al Horford, right? If you like look at their measurements, basically the same.
We got a call coming in from Brooklyn. Yo.
Brooklyn.
Yo, what's good? This is Cody.
Yo, Cody.
Yo, Cody.
The Chicago insider. Cody, what's good, bro?
Chicago is.
Yeah, what's up with MPJ, man? What's up?
I'm on cell phone today, so I can't even get on the chat, but
all good, man.
I had to follow you guys.
Yeah, man. What's happening? Who's your pick? Let us know your pick. We got a lot of calls coming in, so we just got to go with the picks and roll.
Yeah, my heart is for Wendell, but my brain is saying Mikal. And Wendell, guys, if you guys think about it, I know this is a guard-heavy league right now, but if you think about the 5 future, like who would you start your team with right now? All these guys are power forward centers, right? Anthony Davis, Kristaps Porzingis, Embiid. All of these guys are
Jokic.
centers, and all the
Jokic,
guards right
Jokic.
now are about 29 and up, right? So I think I'm not saying the age of the big man is ever gonna come back to the Ewing days, but you still need to have big man who's gonna be able to guard
For sure.
Embiid, like the Tatum of the world, because those guys are monster guys. And so yes, I like Mikal, but I think Tatum is gonna eat Mikal. To be honest with you, I think Tatum will have his way with Mikal.
Tatum's a beast.
I like
beast.
Carter. I think we can do so much more with Wendell Carter than you can do with Mikal. Because Mikal, if he has a good coach, Brad Stevens, he will shut Mikal down in a playoff series. Like the fact that the guy cannot create for himself is not a good thing. I mean, I know he's a better version of maybe a Tolbert, but
yeah.
How often do you trust Mikal in a game 6, game 7?
No, but I mean, I think, some guys are just gonna have to fit a certain role, right? Everybody on the team is not gonna be a star. Everybody on the team is not gonna be a guy that just can create on his own. Some people are just gonna have their role, right? And there's certainly a role for a guy like Mikal Bridges that can defend definitely threes, maybe some fours, defend depending on who he's matched up with, and knock down that open three. If that is what his ceiling ends up being.
Right, but I can see the kid. Okay, so the kid from Kentucky.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, I believe. In the second round, that guy, he has a role, right? You take him in the second round because he has a specific role, right? But if it's a nice pick, I still think you're trying to figure out a difference maker. You're trying to go, I'm buying into the Knox. I'm buying into Kevin Knox now. I think if Wendell Carter is there, you take him. If Kevin Knox is there, I think you ask Fizdale, can you work with this kid? If Fizdale says yes, I think you take him before you take Mikal.
So basically, you're saying like in the first round, take the guy that has the best ceiling, the highest ceiling available to you.
Yeah,
like
you
best,
do.
And then in the second round, you're more like, okay, now you fill a need. Now you find a role player. Okay, yeah, I generally agree with that. Yeah, I think that was a really great call.
Interesting. Yo, Cody, appreciate you, man. We will be live for the draft at the viewing party.
Looking for that Knicks TV, nothing but Knicks.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing. We'll be going live when the pick is announced, and then I'm about to boogie back to my crib. And then we'll be going live to take the phone calls and everything. So
is that where the after party's at?
Yeah, right. Man. In a couple years, man. When I get this house in the Hamptons, the Knicks Fan TV bash is gonna be out there, man.
Sorry, man. We can
no problem.
kick
All
it.
right,
We can
guys.
rock it
All
out
right,
with
yo,
some
Cody,
old
respect, bro.
No problem.
Yeah, man. That's Cody, man. Cody always calls in. That's my guy. Yo, you guys were able to hear him okay, right? Shwinny and Jay Ellis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask. I forgot to ask him about him. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
MPJ.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to ask him about MPJ, man. Okay. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. My guy Famous just got in here. What's good, Famous? Edwin Hunter, what's good? Eddie, what's good? Nah, I mean, son, 101. He wants Kevin Knox. Jay Alvarez. I think we got some Lance Thomas slander going on in the chat. That's always always welcome.
I'm always down for Lance Thomas.
Always down for some Lance Thomas slander. We gotta get him going.
My guy from Brooklyn.
We gotta get Lance going, man.
He keeps me from going too hard on him.
We gotta get Lance going, man. He's a good kid, but he been around for too long, man. Ace Canty, what's good? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Like I said, me and Jay Ellis will be doing a live stream right before the pick, so maybe around, what time the draft starts. So I think the TV cover starts at 7. So we figured
is that the first pick is it usually not until 8 though? Because ESPN's always weird about that.
They got to bullshit and go back through it, and
they lie to you though. They're like, it starts at 7, and you watch it for an hour. You're like, oh, so it starts at 8 though.
They want you in there to watch the commercials and listen to
it just Woj
T-Mac
talking
right. Get Woj in there. So probably around say 8:15. Once like the 6th pick or so gets announced, we'll go live from the draft watch party. And then we'll go live again later that night, maybe around, say, 11 o'clock realistically by the time I get back and set up. So if y'all are watching at home, make sure that's why it's important to hit the notification bell to know exactly when we jump on for the live stream. But, yeah, man. All right, so it's about 2:30. Yo, we've been going for 2 hours. Degenerate Knicks fans talking Knicks for 2 hours, man.
What do y'all do? Y'all got a life?
Jesus, man. I need to get my life back, man. So yeah,
after the draft.
Yeah, probably after the draft, man. So
summer league after the draft.
Oh Jesus, man, it never ends. Never ends.
August is like when you're finally.
Yeah, August is quiet time. August is quiet time, man. But this was fun, man. Schwinny, definitely appreciate you hanging out with us, man. And you definitely great, provided some valuable insight. I'm gonna swing it to your screen. Go ahead and plug all your publications, all your articles, and we'll make sure we get that out to you.
Yeah, for sure. Just posting and toasting. I have a few articles up there. Like I said, I'll tweet some out after this, and if you want to you want to read a little bit more about some of the guys I talked about, feel free.
Okay, and for everybody watching, this is Schwinny's tag right here at Schwinny Poo on Twitter. So definitely connect with him on Twitter, and he'll post the links to his current articles at the moment. Schwinny, definitely respect, bro. All right, we got one more call in. We'll get one more call in before we wrap up. Yo.
Manny P from BK.
Manny P, what's good, my dude? Who's your pick? What's your heart saying? What's your head telling you? What's your prediction?
To be honest, it's 3 guys. My unrealistic pick, because he's not dropping, is Mo Bamba.
Okay.
Bamba.
My heart is saying Lonnie Walker, but my mind is saying Mikhail as well.
Okay. So you want Bamba, but you think it's gonna end up being Mikhail. You wouldn't mind Lonnie Walker, but you think it's gonna end up being Mikhail.
It's most likely gonna either end up Mikhail, or I see the Knicks trading down and taking Kevin Knox, to be honest.
Interesting. Okay. Yo, Manny, thanks for the call, man. Make sure you subscribe and keep up with us.
Right.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, respect, bro.
Spread us broken way.
Yeah, man. So that was Manny. He said Bamba's the guy. All right, Jay Ellis, I'm swinging it over to you, man. Oh, that was me. Jay Ellis, go ahead and plug everything you got going on.
Oh yeah, man. Podcast, of course. Hit my SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/The Nick of Time Show. I'm also putting the podcast on YouTube finally, so I should have the newest one up probably between Sunday and Monday. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias, and subscribe, man. Subscribe.
Yes, sir. And man, similar situation here at Knicks Fan TV. You know where to find me: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on everything, talking Knicks with people. And look out for us draft night at around 8 o'clock, close to 8. Once the 5th or 6th pick gets announced, we'll be going live. Me and my man Jay Ellis will hear the pick at 9. You'll get the reaction from all the Knicks fans at the Hulu Theater, and we'll give you our reaction to the pick. So definitely gonna be a great day Thursday. And then, like I said, later on that evening, we'll jump back live and take your phone calls and get your thoughts on what happens. Never know what could happen, man. It's a draft, so anything is possible. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll have a story capturing the whole day. I'm gonna be doing a vlog for YouTube capturing the whole day, my interviews with Knicks fans, getting their predictions out on the street, out on 33rd and 7th. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man. So if you're not already following on Instagram, make sure you hit that follow on Instagram as well, man. And yeah, that's it, man. Yo, Schwinny, thanks again. We got to do this again sometime, bro. You were definitely great. And Jay Ellis, you already know, man. I'll check you on Thursday.
Yep.
And what else? Yo, Jay, did the stream go through on Twitter?
Yes, it did.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So everybody on Twitter was on there as well. So yeah, man, that's it. I'm gonna give y'all your day back. Any fathers in here watching, happy Father's Day. Definitely celebrate with your kids, man, and salute to everybody, man. So it's been real, and we'll catch y'all up, catch up with you on Thursday. Peace.
Peace, man.